Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at some source material that does something pretty interesting. It takes a global pop icon and turns her work into, well, serious academic fuel.
Exactly. And it's timely too, right? With Taylor Swift's, what is it, 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, just dropping.
October 3rd, yeah. So everyone's talking about her again, looking back at her whole discography.
And our sources today argue that this isn't just entertainment, it's more like a cultural archive almost.
Right, that's the hook.
Yeah, I mean, the core idea highlighted is that Swift's career, which is obviously fueled by very personal stuff, loves, critiques, those big reputation battles, it actually works as this kind of sophisticated commentary.
Mm-hmm.
These moments, they're not just celebrity gossip. They really reflect bigger social, cultural, even political themes, things that, really matter today.
That's the key insight, isn't it? That pop music, especially when it's everywhere like hers is, can actually be used as solid evidence in an argument.
A powerful tool.
Absolutely. So here's what we're doing today. This deep dive is specifically for you, the learner, especially if you're gearing up for those big national exams in Brazil, like ENEM or other vestibulares.
Yeah, this is about practical application.
We're going to quickly show you how you can kind of unlock 11 of her songs to really strengthen your repertorio sociocultural, that academic toolkit you need for essays.
And we're aiming for more than just, dropping a name. It's about real synthesis, understanding how it connects.
So when we talk about repertorio sociocultural, can you break that down a bit?
Sure. It's essentially your sociocultural foundation, the external knowledge, the academic evidence you bring in to ground your arguments in an essay.
Okay, grounding the argument.
Yeah.
And the sources are clear. This is vital for the ENEM exam, right?
Oh, definitely.
It links directly to competence, too. That's where they're looking at your ability to, and I'm quoting here, comprehend the proposal and apply concepts from various areas of knowledge to develop the theme.
Exactly. So taking a hit song and linking it to, a sociological concept.
Yeah.
That shows you can synthesize. It shows you're thinking critically.
It proves you get that knowledge isn't just siloed. It connects across different fields, even pop culture.
Right. It shows you can draw connections from maybe unexpected places.
Okay, but let's be real. It sounds straightforward, maybe, but actually doing that synthesis, connecting a Taylor Swift song to history or sociology under exam pressure, that takes serious prep.
It does. It takes structure, a lot of practice, and honestly access to a wide range of resources.
Yeah.
So you can find that perfect example when you need it, whether it's a historical fact or, a specific lyric.
Yeah, that ability to pull the right info at the right time. That's the challenge, synthesizing all that knowledge efficiently.
That's the hurdle, especially for exams like these. You need both breadth and efficiency.
So if you are a student and you really want to get serious about preparing for ENEM, CSU, FUVEST, Unicamp, all of those, I really have to recommend checking out medkobe.com.br. It's designed to help you overcome exactly that hurdle we're talking about. Just go to the site, medkobe.com.br, download the app. You'll find, honestly, the largest question bank in Brazil.
That's huge for practice.
It is. They've got previous exams from basically all institutions, questions with comments explaining the answers, really practical summaries, full classes, even ready-made flashcards you can use anywhere.
So a complete system.
Exactly. A comprehensive structured system to build that deep repertorio and have it ready no matter the essay topic. Definitely worth checking out.
Okay, good tip. Now, shall we dive into the songs themselves? The sources break them down into themes. First up, power structures and gender inequality.
Yeah, let's start there. First song, The Man. This one's almost like a thought experiment, isn't it? Imagining life if she were born male.
It's a direct critique of structural sexism and that really frustrating double standard, especially in the professional world.
Right. What's seen as ambition in a man suddenly becomes arrogance or something negative in a woman.
Exactly. And if you need to talk about that double bind, especially in the job market, the song just hands it to you. The article points to that specific lyric. I'm so sick of running as fast as I can, wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man.
Wow. Yeah. That line just cuts right to it.
It instantly grounds an argument about feminism, workplace equity, those invisible barriers women face. Very useful.
Okay, so The Man tackles the structural side. Then There's Nothing New, featuring Phoebe Bridgers. This one feels different, more internal.
It is. It critiques that sort of ticking clock placed on women's value professionally and socially. It's about ageism, or eatpotherism, as the source calls it.
Eat-totterism, right? That feeling of becoming invisible or less relevant after a certain age.
Yes, and it's framed not just as getting older, but as this kind of systemic disposability, like society or the industry only values women when they're perceived as new or young.
That's harsh, but
Yeah.
feels true in many contexts.
The key quote highlighted is, "Will you still want me when I'm nothing new?" It's stark. Perfect for essays on beauty standards, ageism in media, or the workplace, the exclusion of older women from, power structures.
That's a really clear application. Okay, so we've got these external structural critiques. Now, let's pivot, like you said, more towards the internal landscape.
Right.
Self, anxiety, isolation. Big topics for young people today.
Definitely relevant. Let's start with "I Hate It Here." This song, according to the sources, taps right into that feeling of contemporary anxiety, that need for mental retreat.
Escapism.
Exactly. Escapism, the desire to just flee a world that feels chaotic, full of crises, and find refuge in these secret gardens of the mind, as she puts it.
You can see how that connects. Discussing mental health, maybe social alienation, just the sheer weight of everything happening.
Right. The lyricism offers a way to talk about that search for psychological safety, for a break from the pressure.
Okay, next one on this theme, cardigan. Now, I usually think of this one as romantic.
It has those elements for sure, but the source material digs a bit deeper, focusing on the theme of belonging. And, maybe more importantly, the way youth are often systemically underestimated.
How so? Like, just dismissed because they're young?
Pretty much. It gives voice to that feeling of being overlooked or not taken seriously. The specific lyric pulled out is, "When you are young, they assume you know nothing."
Okay. I see it now.
That single line. It can be a really potent reference point in essays about, say, intergenerational dynamics, age prejudice, or just the struggle of forming your identity when adults are maybe skeptical.
That makes sense. And rounding out this section on the self, you're on your own, kid. This one feels quite melancholy.
It is. It's described as a reflection on maturation, on growing up, and that often kind of painful realization that ultimately you have to figure things out yourself. It requires this difficult, sometimes isolating sense of autonomy.
Hits on that contemporary individualism, maybe.
Yeah, the sources connected to that. And the pressures on young people today. That specific phrase, "You're on your own, kid," you always have been. It's useful for discussing the challenges of finding your way, youth autonomy, maybe even contemporary loneliness, the pressure to be independent almost immediately.
Okay, powerful stuff. Let's move to the third theme. This feels like core Taylor Swift territory. Reputation, resilience, and dealing with all that social media scrutiny.
Absolutely her wheelhouse. And you have to start with "Shake It Off." It's like the ultimate anthem of resilience, right?
The ultimate brush it off song.
Exactly. But the source material frames it seriously as a defense of self against constant social judgment. Not just a catchy pop tune, but a display of emotional resistance against, well, public surveillance.
Haters gonna hate. That's the iconic line. But playing devil's advocate, can you use that in a formal essay? Does it risk sounding simplistic?
That's a totally fair point, and the sources address that. They stress using it not as, like, a life philosophy, but as evidence of a cultural response to intense digital scrutiny. It shows how maintaining self-worth becomes almost an act of resistance against online pile-ons, against cancel culture.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating the phenomenon, not necessarily endorsing the phrase itself as a complex argument.
Precisely. Now, if "Shake It Off" is about defiant posture, then "Mean" is the direct counterattack. It's a clear denouncement of destructive criticism, of verbal cruelty.
Written about a specific critic, wasn't it?
Yes, but its application is broader. It's highly effective in essays discussing things like hate speech, online intolerance, or how public figures can push back against just malicious behavior, demanding basic respect.
Got it. Then there's the big one in this category. Look What You Made Me Do. This felt like pure theater, a total identity reset after all those controversies.
Total performative reconstruction. The source material connects this directly to the idea of spectacle culture. It's seen as a critique of our relentless culture of exposure, where everything is watched, judged, the spectacularization of life.
So it's not just about her personal drama.
Not solely. It's perfect for essays about image culture, how reputation is built and destroyed online, personal reinvention in the social media age. It almost mirrors sociological ideas like Irving Goffman's presentation of self, but massively scaled up by global media.
Interesting connection. Okay, one more before we leave this theme. You Belong With Me. Classic high school narrative,
Right.
but the source suggests there's more.
Yeah, looking beyond the romance plot, it's analyzed as a commentary on adolescent insecurity, particularly tied to aesthetic pressure, feeling like you don't fit in.
How does that come across?
Through the contrast she sets up, the feeling of being an outsider compared to the popular standard, the source highlights the lyric, "She wears high heels, I wear sneakers." It's simple, but it perfectly captures that tension, that feeling of exclusion from perceived social or aesthetic norms.
Ah, the high heels versus sneakers. Makes sense.
So it becomes relevant for discussions about bullying, yes, but also those intense aesthetic pressures during youth, how identity gets formed against those backdrops.
Okay, really useful angles.
Mm.
Let's move to our final thematic block, inclusion and more direct political engagement.
Right. And here, you need to palm down is absolutely central. It's presented as a very clear, unambiguous stand against homophobia and intolerance.
A defense of the LGBTQIA+ community.
Absolutely. Reinforcing basic respect, diversity. And it's made very quotable for essays on human rights or inclusion because of that clever pun, right? Why are you mad when you could be glad?
Referencing the advocacy group Delia. Yeah, that's smart. It links the song's message directly to real-world advocacy.
Exactly. And finally, Only the Young. This one's explicitly political, written during an election cycle, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And the sources frame it as a direct call for young people to take the lead. Youth protagonism in driving political and social change.
So immediate application for essays on citizenship, democracy, the power of new generations.
Spot on. It's a call to action, essentially.
Okay, so stepping back, we just walked through, 11 songs? And used them to touch on everything from systemic sexism and ageism to mental health, online culture, identity, and even democratic participation.
Yeah, it really shows how versatile that repertorio can be if you know how to look for the connections, how to think critically about the media you consume.
That really is the main takeaway, isn't it? That ability to grab a source that feels mainstream, maybe even everyday, like a Taylor Swift song, and use it smartly to illustrate a complex socio-political idea. That shows real depth.
It demonstrates critical thinking, synthesis. And that is exactly what examiners are looking for in those high-stakes essays. They want to see you make those connections.
So the final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
If Taylor Swift's work, this massive commercial success story, can be broken down like this, to analyze nuanced issues like interism, the double bind, political engagement, what else are you consuming every day?
Right. What other mass media, films, shows, music, even games?
Yeah.
What's sitting there, just waiting to be unlocked as a powerful academic argument for your next challenge?
Something to think about as you prepare.
Definitely. Until the next deep dive, keep thinking, keep connecting those concepts.